The world of artificial intelligence music has opened up the wormhole of a lot of interest in songwriting. Songwriting, for those of you who are just getting into it, could be very complex. I call this mind over matter. It's like molding something that you haven't even imagined, something you haven't even conceived, but you got to take it from nothing to something. You got to almost bring the song out of thin air. As the saying goes, the song was already there. The writer just found it. This is a world-class lyricist complete manifesto. When you talk about songwriting, there are many components. It's not just about the words, and it's not just about the melody. If you wanted to go deeply into the wormhole of songwriting, you got to talk about harmony, you got to talk about rhythm, tempo, style. All of these matter in the grand scheme, because you could have a beautifully written song, but very poorly executed project of delivering that song. And I want you to understand that there is no right way, singular right way of songwriting. You could write a song starting off with the words before the melody. You could start with the melody and then the words. You could start off just vibing to a set of words that give an even bigger pool of ideas. So, the proverb holds more truth today than ever, especially now that artificial intelligence can generate lyrics, it can generate melodies, even entire songs at the press of a button. AI has produced some impressive results, and in doing so, it has reminded people of something important. Lyrics matter. They absolutely do. Some are going to use AI to write the lyrics for them, and others will use it to sharpen their ears and instincts. But those who want to master songwriting must understand one thing early. Songwriting is not a formula. It is a situation. Every song is born from a specific moment, a topic, a feeling, a tempo, a voice texture, a genre, a harmonic mood, a length of time someone is willing to stay with you. That combination is never repeated in exactly the same way. It's not about talent alone. It's about understanding that songwriting is situational alchemy where 1,000 variables collide. Even the most legendary songwriters aren't guaranteed hits every time. Circumstance is king. The perfect storm of lyrics, tempo, vocal, texture, genre, and timing determines whether your song catches fire or fizzles out. Haven't you heard of a lot of these one-hit wonders? The reason is they did something right and they couldn't repeat it. So if you want to become a great songwriter, especially if this is your first time getting into this world, understand that songwriting is twofold at first, but when you lift the lid, it becomes multifold. The best songwriters know that it's not limited to lyrics and melody. A song also carries harmony, major, minor, tension, release, key choice, brightness versus weight, tempo, urgency versus reflection, rhythm and phrasing, space and silence. There's a track that's making waves currently. It's unhinged. People hardly even hear what is being said, but there's a vibe, a space, a silence that makes people go ballistic. Brevity. You see, writing lyrics is one skill, but crafting a song, you gotta be crafty. It's a whole different ballgame. You can write beautiful words and still have no song. So this is a two-headed beast. You're juggling melody, the emotional narrative, the harmony, the depth and sophistication. Listen to Stevie Wonder's songs. The lyrics are there. The harmony is there. Listen to Michael Franks, the master of phrasing, the master of poetry. He puts a lot of art into his songwriting. The lyrics make you scratch your head and go pick up a dictionary or go do some pop culture research. You see, the key selection, the tempo, the accidentals, and the invisible architecture holding it all together are very important. The more you understand that songwriting is not just a one-size-fits-all, the more open you will be to discovery, learning, and introspective thought. The second truth is that hits are short for a reason. The most successful songs, they live somewhere between 2.5 to 4 minutes. It's not an accident. That's your sweet spot. That's why when you prompt in these tools like SUNO and it gives you an output, it tries to border on that 2.5 minute spot for that very reason, right? So I want you to pay attention, because attention is part of the instrument. Brevity is not a limitation. It's a discipline. Sometimes you want to go on for 5 minutes saying a whole bunch of things. There's no need. Keep it simple, keep it sweet. Now, there are other times where you may want to play like a 9-minute track or a 10-minute track or long tracks like jazz. That's okay. But a proverb worth remembering is, if you can't say it simply, you don't yet know what you say. Songwriting is very experimental. It's like cooking. There's no single recipe. Songwriting works more like you are trying out a dish that you have never cooked before, because every song is a new dish. Now, I know there are remixes, but you can even treat remixes the same way. You could see a remix as a challenge to get a totally new vibe, a totally new sound. Yes, the lyrics might already be there, the melody might already be there, but maybe you can reharmonize. Maybe you can introduce some elements that were not there in the original. Try combinations. Some experiments obviously will fail, just like Edison failed, right? But he said, no, it's not failure, it's discovery. I found 10,000 ways how a light bulb cannot be made. So I want you to approach songwriting as science, discovery, right? A science in the lab. Some experiments, they're going to fail in a spectacular manner, and others, they are going to yield gold. The key is iteration, running the experiment over and over again, adjusting variables, learning from each attempt. Some of you are really good with this, because when you go into tools like SUNO, you're not just doing it at one time. You're doing it over and over again. You're reiterating until you get that sweet spot. See? A hit, though, is not proof of genius. Longevity is proof of judgment. So I want you to understand, the more you do this, the better you get. The more consistent results you will achieve. I want you to understand there are some foundational principles, and I have built these foundational principles into my application, which I just call the AI Coach, the AI Songwriting Coach. These foundations have been built into Playground. For those of you that know Playground, this is an example of how it works. If you've written a song, you can post the song in, the verse, the chorus. My tool will examine that song and the ideas, and it will give you feedback on all of these elements: structure, rhyme scheme, hook density, an executive overview of how good the song is, contrast, and also items that you need to take away. Ask yourself questions and think. I call it the mind over matter method, and I'm going to be going over this with you very rapidly. Number 1, start with emotion, not chords. And I'm not saying you can never ever start with chords. I've written a lot of songs chords first, but if you are approaching this for the very first time, I want you to think about what emotion you are trying to convey, because it drives everything. Before notes, before words, what are you feeling? Are you feeling joy? Are you feeling regret? Maybe you're feeling love. Maybe you're feeling excitement, tension, relief. Focus on that emotion. It's there. When you get that, I feel like saying something. What do you want to say? What emotion are you trying to convey? Your mind must identify what matters before matter. The music can express it. This is the first act of intention, feeling before form. if you're feeling excited and happy, you got to tune into that frequency. Number 2, one song, one message. If you can't summarize the song in one sentence, the listener won't either. This is disciplined thinking, cutting through the fog to find the core truth. Master songwriters know that focus amplifies impact. Number 3, simple beats, clever. A clear, simple idea executed well always outperforms a complex idea done halfway. This is strategic restraint. The ego wants to showcase everything you know. The craftsman knows that less done right says more. And that's why when you see me writing in a lot of these videos, I take a very simplistic approach. I call it the simpleton approach. Less is more. Maybe 1 or 2 words as opposed to a full-on sentence where people are struggling to even remember one thing of what you said. Number 4, write badly on purpose at first. It's a first draft. It's allowed to be ugly. Give yourself permission to create imperfect art. Polishing comes later. Number 5, the chorus is the promise. Your chorus should sound like the title. Even if the title never appears, it's the emotional payoff, that hook that embeds itself in people's memory. The chorus, that's the gatekeeper. You can write the most profound verse in the world, but if the chorus doesn't hook, oh my goodness, the listener just presses the button and moves on, either fast forwarding or looking for what gives them that payoff. You see, the chorus is not where you explain. It's where you simplify. It's where you dial that emotion in full force. Short lines, clear emotion, easy recall, fewer words for maximum impact. Number 6, verse. That's the story. Chorus. That's the meaning. Verses show what happened. Choruses tell why it matters. This is the architectural thinking. Building narrative tension in verses, then releasing it with meaning in the chorus. Number 7, don't over-explain. Listeners enjoy filling gaps. Leave a lot of space for interpretation. Trust me when I say keep it simple, sister. KISS. The best songs create co-authorship between writer and listener. Michael Franks is a master at keeping things so ambiguous and obtuse. You actually go scratch your head and ask, what exactly did he say? But it sounds good and it keeps you listening and guessing. Number 8, rhyme naturally, not mechanically. Forced rhymes break immersion. Near rhymes often sound more human and sophisticated. You see, rhyme is memory glue. Rhyme is not decoration. It's cognitive reinforcement. So you choose the scheme intentionally. Do you want to do AA or BB? For example, I went out to town today. I came back and felt like going away. That's AA. Then you go to BB. I headed to the park instead. Came home and collapsed in bed. You see, that's an AABB format. Or you could choose an ABAB. I went out to town today. I got back and sat down. I went to the park yesterday. And when I got there, I found a crown. You see, you have to ask yourself, which of these is best suited for what I'm trying to say? There's no right choice, only a deliberate one. But remember, natural flow beats perfect rhyme every time. There has to be that natural ebb and flow about it. Number 9, melody first, lyrics second. Humming nonsense can sometimes lead to better melodies than thinking in sentences. You see what I'm trying to show you? You could go emotion, melody, lyrics. And in some instances, you might find yourself just getting the lyrics, like pulling them out of thin air, and maybe the melody comes next. There is no hard and fast rule, but I want you to think in multiple ways and dimensions. And then you become a true scientist who isn't trying to do everything the same way. You are discovering emotion, melody, lyrics, and melody all at once, and emotion. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you might even just hear a bass line, and then you get the idea. But when you think melody first, lyrics second, it frees you from that constraint. And it helps pure music emerge. So you could sing your melody before adding words. It's okay. There are many songwriting duos. Someone has the words, another person supplies the melody, or someone has the melody and another person supplies the words. So a melody wants space to be remembered. When you overcrowd a sentence, you steal oxygen from the tune. Number 10, finished songs. Aren't we all guilty of this? Those of us who've been in the game for a long time. I had a song I didn't release for 20 plus years. One almost going on 30 years. I finally released it this year. An unfinished great idea is less useful than a finished average song. 10 completed songs teach you infinitely more than 30 brilliant fragments. Finishing builds the muscle of following through and making hard choices. Okay? Mind disciplines matter into completion. Tell yourself, I have to follow this through. Let's talk about craft and control, mastery through intention. Number 11, getting into some more advanced stuff. Tension makes music move. Build contrast. Loud versus quiet. Sparse versus full. Short versus long phrases, even with just voice and guitar. You're conducting energy. Where does the song whisper? Where does it roar? You have to engineer these in. Space and silence also matter. Strategic silence can hit harder than any note. Tension and release aren't just musical concepts. I'm not talking about tension in a chord. I'm talking about ebb and flow in the energy of the song. It's an emotional architecture. Stevie Wonder is someone you want to listen to because he's a master of tension and release. Number 12, earn your chorus. If the chorus hits immediately, make it worth the arrival. Build anticipation in your verses. Create a journey that makes the chorus feel inevitable, necessary, and earned. It's like the big old celebration. The best choruses feel like gravity. You cannot resist their pull. Number 13, change perspective. Try first person, second person, third person. It reshapes the song instantly. Put yourself outside of the song like you're looking in, like a third person. I lost you versus you lost me versus they lost each other. Same event, completely different emotional architecture. When you step outside, it tends to give it a little bit more gravity in some songs. Instead of the same old me and I, you're seeing it from outside. It really empowers. It gives you a different way of writing a song so things don't go old. Number 14, repetition is power, if intentional. Repeating a line works when it feels like insistence, not laziness, because human loves patterns. We are humans and we're creatures of habit, right? The same way we love patterns, and 3 repetitions feel particularly satisfying. But know why you're repeating it. Is it emphasis? Is it obsession? Or meditation? Well, whatever it is, make it count. Use contrast in lyrics as well. Hope next to despair. Calm next to chaos. It's part of that tension release contrast. And this is where minimalist lyrics shine. Juxtaposing sharp contrasting images. I often use styles like this. Fly free. Paint the sky. Jump out. Very simple, but metaphoric. It goes a long way. Number 16. Cut your favorite line if it doesn't serve the song. Great writers sacrifice cleverness for clarity. Kill your darlings. The brilliant metaphor that stops the song's momentum, gone. The song as a whole matters more than any individual element. This is ego death as creative fuel. I take no prisoners. If it's gotta go, it's gotta go. Number 17, silence is a musical decision. Pauses, stops, and drops. They can say more than any other lyrics. Music is all about experimentation. And this is where you need to experiment with silence. Dynamics aren't just volume. They're strategic deployment of presence and absence. I encourage you to strategically position silence into your songs. Build-ups, breakdowns. And you do know, when you're writing, whether you're writing for human or you're writing for AI, you do know you can insert pauses in those square brackets for artificial intelligence. And of course, humans know what to do. Number 18, rewrite the first verse last. You don't know how to begin until you know where you end. Have you ever had to go back to the beginning of the song and say, yeah, the last piece is really awesome, but the beginning, it really doesn't do the song justice? Yeah, because the open verse sets expectations for the entire journey. Remember in the beginning when I said write ugly first? It's okay. You have many opportunities to revise a song. You got to try it out over and over again. Once you've discovered what the song truly is, go back and craft an entrance that serves that revelation. I remember I was doing a prompt once in SUNO, and I got a really good second piece, but the first piece was crummy, and I didn't know how to fix it. So what did I do? I ended up rewriting it, and I couldn't get SUNO to do it as I wanted to, so I ended up singing that part myself, and then I brought the AI in after I had sung the first part. There are times you got to just rewrite that first verse last, because when all said and done and you look back at the beginning of the song, it had better convince you or it won't convince anyone else. Number 19, let the music contradict the lyrics sometimes. Happy chords with sad words or vice versa. It creates emotional complexity. Major keys can convey brightness, minor keys often darkness. But the real magic happens when you create intentional dissonance between what's said and how it's said. This is sophisticated emotional vocabulary. Number 20. Write from observation, not explanation. Show action, details, and moments. Avoid telling the listener what to feel. Instead of, I was sad. Describe the empty coffee house, the empty coffee cup, the empty club with you just sitting alone having a drink. Specific concrete images are going to help listeners experience the emotion rather than being lectured about it. Number 21. Trust your taste. Your instincts are built from every song you've ever loved. Respect them. After all the theory, after all the technique, after all the strategy, trust the internal compass that brought you to this point in songwriting. This is where mind and matter finally merge, your unique consciousness, imposing order on chaos. Minimalism is a power move. And I have to attribute Michael Franks being one of my favorite songwriters. He uses a very minimalist approach at times. And I love that minimalist approach. Short lines, clear images, room for melody to speak, metaphors, proverbs that people know. This is strategic restraint. It's mind over matter. Mind over matter of your ego wanting to showcase every clever line you've written. When your lyrics are clean, your melody has room to breathe and become memorable. I love minimalism. I didn't at first, but I started realizing it's so important. It enables not only the singer, the real life singer, to catch it and sing it as good as possible, but even in artificial intelligence, it also empowers the tool to present in a variety of ways because there's so much space. It's so minimalist. And this is a minimalist manifesto. Saying less often communicates more. The paradox is real. Strip your lyrics down to the essence, my friend. Cut every word that doesn't earn its place. Then cut 3 more. What remains? That's your song. Words and tempo must agree with each other, you see. Match tempo to emotion. When tempo and lyrics argue, the listener feels it. Melancholic song with frantic beats create confusion, except you're deliberately seeking irony as I just described. Now, shout out to one of my favorite rappers, Black Thought. He hasn't got enough flowers in my mind. He is a beast. And when it comes to rap being the poet's ultimate test, you need to go check out his freestyle. Crazy. He is an artist of our time. Much respect to Black Thought. But let's talk about rap. Arguably the most demanding lyrical form in modern music. A lot of people don't understand how intense it is. The best rappers are velocity poets, architects of meaning, who who operate at superhuman speeds. The speed, the density, the accuracy required to rhyme at tempo, especially in freestyle, it pushes language and mental acuity beyond normal limits. Many great rappers are poets, whether they claim the title or not. Freestyling, that's improvised poetry under pressure, where mind literally conquers matter in real time. The rhyme schemes are tighter, the wordplay, it's so dense, and the demands on linguistic precision, astronomical. It's pretty scary. Anyone dismissing rap hasn't tried constructing 16 bars that rhyme, that make sense, that tell a story, that are crafty and witty. This is mind over matter at Olympic levels. You want to learn about writing? Go listen to some rap. So, my friends, the science, yeah, there is some. I don't want to overdwell on it because you can get by partnering with a great musician. Key selection. Is it going to be a C sharp or is it going to be an F sharp? Is it going to be a G sharp? There are times you might need to choose your key with intent, not only because of the singing range, but because it just sounds better on certain keys. Harmonic movement, tension and release, tempo alignment, melodic contour, all of these are things you should be thinking about. Dorian feels wistful. Phrygian sounds exotic and dark. Mixolydian has that bluesy, unresolved quality. But you don't need formal theory training to experiment, just curiosity. Play with different key signatures. I've often told you folks about the philc.net site. And the philc.net site enables you to play around with keys. If you haven't already been there, let me just remind you, check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what you can find on philc.net. Philc.net, in addition to what I just showed you, so I talked about my playground, right? And this is my playground right here. When you become a member of this channel, you get access to Playground. And in Playground, I have various prompters, as you can see here. So many of them. So many prompters. I have, as you can see here, Christian Music Prompter, Christian Music Blender, Simple Music Prompter, Genre Supersizer, many. Vocal Designer, Silk Vocal Designer. Shout out to Mr. for that one. And many others. Many more. So, this is just one piece of what you get in membership, right? There are also videos that I post there that the members can see. But on philc.net, I have some free stuff. So let's go into that free stuff. Let me explain. So if you want to play around with key, let's say you're on the road, you don't have a piano, just go on down to Music Education Tools and click on Virtual Piano. And you have a virtual piano. You can actually play this virtual piano to know what key you're on. See? And when it's loaded, it actually does play key and stuff. That's that. And then you also have the chord helper. What I like about the chord helper is you could choose a major or minor key. So let's load the piano. So this is C major. This is C minor. So if you wanted to play on a minor key, you could do that. And you could do that on any of the 12 keys. Because sometimes you really do need to experiment and think things through. Which is why I would recommend jumping into philc.net when you're writing music, when you're writing songs, and just find a key that actually works. Sometimes it's not a C. Sometimes an F sharp might work better, or an F sharp minor, depending. You get what I'm saying? So these are tools that can help you. Okay. And then, like I said, the playground, you have so many different tools that can help you with your songwriting game. All right. So science does not guarantee magic. There's no cookie cutter song. The same chord progression can produce a masterpiece or nothing at all. Many hits were created with the basic 1-4-5 CFG, right? And other songs have all the chords till the cows came home, but they didn't hit. So I would encourage starting from different entry points. Vary your approach. Monday, begin with a chord progression. Wednesday, start with a title. Friday, build around a rhythm. And it's a varied approach that prevents formulaic thinking, and it keeps your creative muscles adapting. Also, record everything. Oh my goodness, I cannot overstate. Because many a time you get an idea, and if you don't bottle it like an elixir right there, you're going to lose it. That idea is going to go away. Collaboration. This is ego death as creative fuel. What does co-writing do? It forces you outside your comfortable patterns. Another mind will challenge your assumptions. It will offer alternatives. And I love writing. I love writing because it just synergizes the meeting of the minds. The brain power just multiplies when you have two people who are ready to put aside ego. You win some, you lose some, but when you lose some, it's a win. You know, even if you're primarily a solo artist, occasional collaboration, it keeps your approach from calcifying. The final measure of a song, my friend. Good song does three things. Lands emotionally. It hooks. That nostalgia. That's why a lot of people go crazy about AI covers, because it stays memorable and it fits its moment. That moment could be a dance floor. It could be a quiet room. It could be a heartbreak. It could be a celebration. You see, the best songwriters understand they're playing a probability game. More swings equals more chances of connection. More experiments equals more opportunities for magic. But focus on what you can control. Also remember, there are points in the song where you might just need to bring in an instrumental every now and again to just release some tension, or even to build it. Let's talk about the singularity of your voice. All these techniques, all this theory, all these strategies, they're all tools. They are not rules. Okay? It's very important you understand there is no one way to write a song, which is why a lot of unsuspecting, unwitting songwriters have emerged. They just did something that clicked and worked. So your job isn't to write songs that sound like everyone else's hits. Your job is to find the intersection of what moves you and what connects with others. That unique combination of words, tempo, style, genre, and vocal texture that only you can create, that's not random. That's what I call mind over matter. Your consciousness imposing order on the chaos of possibility, your intention shaping raw sound into meaning. But songwriting isn't magic, it's emotion, right? It's structure, it's honesty. Artificial intelligence can assist. Theory can guide, and trends can influence. But songwriting still belongs to those who understand when to speak, when to repeat, and when to stay quiet as a human in the loop. Tools can help, but connection comes from decisions you make as a human. Your mind choosing what matters. Don't let AI badger you into doing what it says. You, remember, at best, it's a partner. It's not your boss, right? Your craft, giving that choice form. Your honesty, making that form resonate. So write short, write memorable, match tempo to emotion. Choose your rhyme schemes deliberately. Remember, songs are built from experience a lot of times, and those really hit. It could be a heartbreak. It could be a crazy thing that happened on the street. Like I wrote a song of what happened when I encountered a gunman in the alleyway. You can write a song based on your experience, but you must experiment. right? Finish what you start. Always trust that the mind, armed with craft, fed by curiosity, and disciplined by intention, can transform intangible thoughts into songs that move bodies and souls. As the old wisdom goes, the song doesn't ask how you made it. It only asks whether it tells the truth. That's the real alchemy. Not magic, mastery. Now, my friends, go write something that matters. I hope this has inspired you. If it has, smash that like button, subscribe, help your buddy fill out. And those of you who love the playground that you just saw, jump into membership. Knock yourself out on that stuff. There's 16 apps there. There's actually an app I added very recently. I added an app that will enable those who write in Spanish. I call it the Latin Music Prompter. And I have different styles here. And the cool thing is you can shift to various dialects. See that? So that is just one of the many prompters that I have in Playground. Remember, mind over matter. The song was already there. You, the songwriter, you just found it. Bye for now.